Hi guys, and welcome back. Today is going to be raining and I'm already feeling a few sprinkles, but I wanted to give you a quick update on what things are progressing in my yard, how things are looking, and the jobs that I need to do, and some of the things that didn't go so right. So don't go away.
Come all you young rounders, and a story I'll tell of the promise of heaven.
Okay, you guys, I'm gonna just dive right into this. Like I said, it's gonna be sprinkling throughout the day. In fact, I'm feeling drops already. So I'm gonna do this fairly quick. And I'm not gonna go through every little plant. I'm just gonna point out how things are going. I think you can see how things have progressed from last month, which was all of, let's see, what was that? Well, where are we? What day is this? We're approaching the end of May. So that would be April. And so, okay, so let's just get started because some things are looking really beautiful and some things are looking really sad. I have some regrets, but hopefully there'll be a comeback on it. So let's get started on that. Okay, I'm gonna start from this side again. As you can see, my Hot Lips Salvia is now in bloom. It is looking gorgeous. My Heuchera Coral Bell is gotten bigger. But as you can see, I still have not moved my Emporium and switched it out with my Hot Lips. At this point, it's way too late in the season to do that. I will have to do that in this fall. But remember I mentioned that my Jupiter's Beer, Valerian Root, whichever one you want to call it, is gotten pretty tall. The flowers have expanded much taller than the Emporium, as I mentioned. So I love this plant and I like it as the forefront, even though it's very tall. So I will always keep it here like that because it just makes a big statement. Over here I have a couple of liatras. They're beautiful in color and they're just going to be gorgeous, and they do require some sun, so I'm going to be planting them right here. Right here, this was one of the plants right here that I wasn't sure what it was when it was first coming out, but I believe it's a red hot poker, but I'm not sure of the variety, so I'll put it down here as to what it is. But I'll probably be moving that out and placing it somewhere in this whole garden over here. But for now, I got to leave it because it is coming out. But those are yet to be done. I will be doing a kind of a lily. This one here is going to be gorgeous, tall, and beautiful. It's going to make a great backdrop. So that one here, I will be placing it back here somewhere. Now, one of the things that I did, which was a big mistake, but we'll see, is I planted this 5 lilies, and I thought they were going to be more of a 5 to 4 foot lily, such as this gazer lily here. I thought it was going to get that big, but it looks like they're a smaller variety, so I may have to pull them out in the fall and bring them to the forefront and do some switching around. So yeah, that's all work. Oh, look at what we have here. We have my little buddy here. Well, hi there, buddy. Okay, he's off again. But anyway, yeah, look at this. What is that? That is a big, almost like a bumblebee. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, have lots of work yet to do on this, but it's looking all really wonderful and beautiful. My stone crop cedium here is just filled with blooms. I mean, this thing is going to be blooming really quick, and this is yellow in color. I do have some more what you call this, a hop-like oregano that I had previously put, like many years ago, put that in between there. I thought I dug it out, but I've got some peeking out here. It's starting to form its blooms, so that's really looking great. And then last, we have my self-watering container, and look at this. I have 3 nasturtium blooms. One here, here, and here. The little red that you see, the leaves that are red down here and right here, that is the heuchera, or as it's well known as coral bell, probably because of its flowers, but you can see all the flowers that are popping up on that. You can see a little bit of the spikes in the back, and if you look really in between there, you may see a little bit of variegated leaves of the nasturtiums. So this is doing really, really well. I have underwatered this a little bit, I will not lie, but still love this container. It's looking beautiful. Now nasturtiums will bloom all the way into fall. So can't wait to show you this as the season progresses. Okay, so now to talk about this side, and I'm going to share the good and the ugly. So we'll start with the good. My hot lip salvia over here is doing fantastic. This year, this hot lip salvia, as well as this one over here, were doing really bad last year because they're just being overshadowed by the 2 mimosa trees by the street, and just putting too much shade that they barely even bloomed. This year, they are back. They are doing fantastic, and I love, love, love this plant. I do have to clip this one back a little bit because it will get 3 feet tall and wide, and so just to keep it a little bit more tailored and, you know, kind of controlled, I do clip it once or twice a year. My hens and chickens over here is finally starting to spill out of this container. Love that plant. And of course, this is my pride and joy, which is my Japanese maple tree, or I don't know, or it's a bush. It looks like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Addams Family, but it reminds me of Cousin It. But anyway, love this plant. My lilies are coming up. This cow lily was in this part of the yard. I pulled it out when I moved my Delphine Eldora. And so try to pretend that it's not there, because I do need to put it in a container. And yeah, it's a whole other story. So we'll touch on that next month. So now let's turn around and look at the ugly. Yeah, this is my Delphine Eldora. Let's talk about that. So if I have to move this and actually get rid of it, as much as I love Delphine Eldoras, as much as I absolutely love this plant, if it comes to a point where I have to move it out, then I'm thinking that I'm going to be putting some hostas. I'm a big fan of hostas. They add so much to a garden. They flower beautifully. There's some that are more fragrant than others. There's some that accept more sunlight than others. This here, because of my 2 mimosa trees, gets kind of filtered sun. It doesn't get direct sun. So this is a great spot for hostas and maybe some astilbes. So I'm thinking maybe of filling that with that type of plants in the future if this doesn't work out. But for now, this is what it is. And now I have had some suggestions to cut it back. I'm still doing research on that. I may still take you guys up on it. If all else fails, it's not going to hurt it by trimming it back if that's what I need to do. So stay tuned for next month. We'll talk about that next month and see what happens. The good part about this garden is that My stone crop over here is filling out even more so. This is one of my favorite plants, and it's also going to be flowering really beautifully this year. My mums looks like it's starting to get some buds. It's doing beautifully right here. That's here to stay. But look at this. Look at this gorgeous clematis. This is again called the President. Isn't that beautiful? Now I need to put the trellis which over here so that it can continue to climb. But that's just another chore that I need to do. But this is just absolutely beautiful. Now I have two clematises in this group right here. Clematises like their feet in the shade and their foliage in the sun, and that is exactly what this gets. And this is just absolutely the perfect sunlight for this, and it blooms beautifully. Look at those are pretty big flowers. It's a little larger than the palm of my fingers. Let's see if I can, there's my finger there. So yeah, much bigger than my palm. But that is a gorgeous, beautiful, and it shows just exactly the right color through the camera. It really shows through. It's kind of like a purple with these really delicate white lines across it. I don't know if it's purple or kind of a purplish blue, but it's just gorgeous. But this is doing absolutely gorgeous this year. On this side, Silver Beacon here gets really big and spreads out, and I like it. It really fills in a lot of the gaps. Now my wild rose here could have, I should have actually propped it up. Some of it's way down here, some of the limbs. It's got a lot of thorns, so I do need to prop it up, but it's doing just fine. It's got some blooms now. It's looking great. I can clip this back, and I will as the season progresses, just to keep it in control. But it's not invasive. I mean, it grows, but it's easy to pull out. This over here is a large leaf hydrangea. Large leaf hydrangeas are one of my old-time favorite hydrangeas. And the reason for them is because they accept the light as well as the shade. And they're just so easy to grow. They get big and beautiful. The flowers are big and beautiful. This one is called the Ruby Slipper, and it's supposed to be pretty fragrant. And these will be like pink, and look at the leaves. Look at how beautiful the leaves are with just a little bit of a bronze on them. When I saw this in bloom, it was gorgeous. See how the leaf is? This is not a fall colored leaf. This is actually a spring colored leaf. That's going to look so stunning with the variation of leaf color. Here is my wild rose right here. This is stunning. It's beautiful. This has been in this yard for quite a few years. I still need to do something with this pot. Turn it around, fix it, put some drain holes on it, and then maybe plant something really grand here, because I think it'll look really stunning here with some flowers pouring out of it. My Cherokee Brave is doing beautifully. It's in bloom. I'll bring you really close so you can see these flowers. But it's doing good. It looks like the limbs are flopping over for some reason. So I don't know what to do about that. If you guys know what to do about this, let me know. This is unusual. I think the snow really weakened the branches, but I don't know for sure. If you have that answer, please leave it in the comments below. I'd hate to have to replace them. So here's a close look of my Cherokee Brave. This is a dogwood. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the limbs and how I can remedy that. I think the only thing is maybe prop the branches together and kind of tie them up and see what happens there. But yeah, something happened here that weakened the limbs on this, and it's really sad, but Looks like it's spread out. Anyway, but look at this hydrangea. Again, look at the leaves. The leaves are just gorgeous on large leaf hydrangeas. I just absolutely love it. Look at how large that bud is right there. And it's going to get bigger. And it is just full of buds. My rose has tons of blooms. So that's doing great. I do need to spray it. So got to do that. Bergenia, Miss Piggy's here. They're already getting out of bloom, but the foliage this year looks really, really stunning. They make great for a great plant for rock gardens where they get some shade with filtered light. These do really, really great in that environment. The Aztec rhododendron here is starting to lose its flowers, and it's just going to be a beautiful green. I like that kind of chartreuse with dark green foliage. It looks really great here. My blue mammoth looks like something is attacking it. Man, those snails are getting to it, but gotta put some snail bait on that, which I use oyster shells. It works great. I must have missed on doing that on this one, but it's looking beautiful. The leaves look beautiful. This one will get huge. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Right here, looks like my bee balm did not make it, so I will be planting some more bee balm over here. Otherwise, my coneflowers around here are all coming out. My coral bell or heucheras over here are looking beautiful. My spiderwort is in bloom now, and the foliage looks kind of bad, and I think a lot of it was because I clipped it back way down, which I normally do that every year, but for some reason it came back in the fall, which is a rare thing for this one to do. And I think because of the winter and then that snowfall, I think it kind of damaged some of the foliage, but it's not preventing it from still blooming and looking beautiful. My wisteria here is in full foliage now. Can't see any of the blooms. I think I have one bloom. I got two dissoles over here. They're getting much bigger. I've got over here my Transcensia hardy fuchsia. That's looking good. My coral bell heuchera. It's looking beautiful. My rockin' Sylvia is coming back, looking great. Lucifer's doing great over here. And now let's talk about my Rose of Sharon. It is starting to look so much more lush. And this looked like it was not going to make it at all. I mean, as you can even see from up here, it died. So I will be clipping it way down these branches, but look at that foliage. It's doing great. This was an established large plant when I moved it into this container, and it took literally a year, if not longer, for it to start repairing itself, and it's doing a great job. So I'm staying hopeful with the Delphine for that reason. This is Transcensia is coming out. It's looking gorgeous. It grows really big. Now I've heard a lot of things about this plant, how it can be spread out, but I've never had this spread out, and this thing gets really big. So I don't know if that's a myth, but it doesn't propagate as far as I'm concerned. Have another Dosol getting very big. All of my daylilies are looking great. Japanese grass again is coming out. My Forbia over here is repairing itself from that severe cutting that I did back, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put a hydrangea here. I'm still monitoring the light because I really need something that's going to be tall, that's going to provide some shade for my Jack Frost over here, as well as my hosta over here, because I really love that hosta. It looks beautiful, and I don't want it to get burnt in any way. So by protecting it a little bit from the direct light, I think it's going to require me to do something taller over here. So stay tuned for that. My Jupiter's beard here is all getting tall and big. The one that I had planted back here or let go is starting to come out. Again, I will be pulling this out this year. Okay. My flowers on my boulevard Clematis hasn't bloomed out yet, but it's looking good. All of my helleboras are doing beautiful still. This one's still in bloom. They're all still in bloom. They'll stay in bloom throughout the season. This Big Daddy over here is looking the best it's ever looked, and it looks gorgeous. Over here, a lot of work, you guys. A lot of work I need to do. Oh my gosh. This is one of the things about gardening that I don't like to do, is a lot of trimming, and this has to be severely trimmed back because it flopped over from the snow, causing more shade in one area but less shade in others. Again, my winter clematis is out of control. Gotta trim that still. My stilby over here is starting to bloom. It's getting a little bit of blooms. It's really starting to do really well. This gets just the right amount of shade and sun for this stilby. My whirlwind hosta over here is doing gorgeous. This one here, again, I can't identify. I'm still working on that. Bleeding heart, not blooming anymore. My fuchsia here is starting to get bigger and fuller. Let's see. My stilbies are doing much better. Hopefully these will bloom this year. I may move this one because I don't believe it's getting enough light. But my hostas are just gorgeous here. My Persian chocolate is doing great. Going to be starting to bloom. This hosta over here is really old, and I don't know what the name of it is, but look at how beautiful that blue color is on that. That's getting much fuller this year. Over here I have a couple of sedums. Sedums don't like to be fussed with. They don't like to be overwatered or underwatered, but mainly they just like to be left alone, and they survive perfectly fine just being left alone. They can grow in any type of soil, and they do really well with filtered light over here. And look at this. Here's my Dracula, you guys. This one here has gotten really filled out this area, and it's got two blooms. It's got this bloom here, and then I don't believe it has any other blooms over here that I can see, but it does have another one right, excuse me, it's got another huge one right here. Now we'll see if this actually will smell. I will let you know and update you on this, and I will show you what the blooms look like as the season progresses. But that's it for the side. Let's go to the back. Just going to kind of show you what's in bloom right now. My Tanga Clematis is starting to be in bloom. Look at this. Look at this gorgeous flower. Isn't that beautiful? I've had this here already going on its second season since I planted it. It might be the third season. Could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the first season that the flowers really came out this year and are looking stunning. So if you get a Tanga and it doesn't bloom the first year or the second year, be patient, because sometimes plants need time to get really established in their environment for them to do well. But as long as you continue to take care of them and feed them the right fertilizers and take care of them, this is what you get. My Lepidoptera is looking so stunning. Same thing on this side. Look at how gorgeous that is, you guys. Look at how gorgeous that is. Japanese grass is doing really beautifully. All of my hostas over here are doing great. Again, I'm not going to mention each individual hosta. If you want to go see that video, I will link it up here where I name each individual one. The only one that I will mention right off the bat is this Komodo dragon over here. This one's going to get pretty big, but it does require a little bit more sun than it's getting, so I may have to move it. But outside of that, they're looking beautifully. And once this whole thing gets more mature, it's just going to be one stunning place. And yeah, so keep following me, you guys, because this is going to be beautiful next season as it even gets bigger and lusher. And the season just started, so these still have room to grow a little bit more. Hookeras, coral bells, starting to bloom, doing beautifully. But look at you guys. Look at my splat Clematis here. It's going to start blooming. Oh my gosh, and that's going to be gorgeous. It's got another bloom here, and it's continuing to grow up this trellis. And look at this Nellie Moser. Look at these beautiful, big, huge blooms. Now these are going to expand about 6 inches wide. And right now they're looking white, but, and look at the foliage on this. Isn't that beautiful? That is going to be gorgeous. But this one here will be pink with white stripes, I believe, or could be the vice versa. But look at that, got some blooms. Let's see, I've got a June hosta here, and then I've got a parrots hosta, both coming out. And look at this hydrangea, you guys. Remember I thought it was going to be dead? Look at how gorgeous. Look at all those blooms that are coming in. This is a broomstruck macrophylla, and it is completely filled. And what I like about the broomstruck is look at that red stems. Don't those just look beautiful amongst that green? And the green is kind of in that variegated color. This large leaf macrophylla is really, I'm actually feeling blessed right now that it's survived. I really didn't think it was going to. So never give up on a plant. Thank God I did what I did. So go catch that video. Looks like the neighbor's plant. I don't know the name. If you guys can help me out, let me know what this is. But it's making its way from the neighbor's yard over here, and this is a stunning plant, and I like it, so I'm glad it's making its way over here. Okay, moving on. My hot lips salvia starting to get its blooms over here. As you can see, this one is a great performer for me. I've got some shrimp plant here that I had forgotten to actually plant, so it's looks like it's surviving. It's an annual, but it will seed out. But look at how pretty that is. Look at how beautiful that little shrimp flower is. And it is doing good. It's got some new stems coming out, so it's promising. My lily here is doing great. Shahuli rosebush tree is doing great, getting a couple flower buds, a few of them actually. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I can see right off the bat, 6 over here. So that's going to look stunning. All of my coneflowers are doing fantastic. My pot of gold is doing fine. This here is black lace elderberry, and it just is stunning with flowers. So I can't wait for it to really bloom, but just look at that. That's starting to bloom, and they're huge blooms. And I didn't think it was going to bloom this year because I cut it twice already in the season, and I also cut it back in the fall, in the late fall, which is not a good time to be trimming back plants, but I did it, and it is going to look really stunning. let's see. My Kudos Ambrosio is doing fine. This is a California Blue Lilac, and this one I have been nursing it for several years now. It was doing extremely poor when I first moved here. I don't know if it's been 10 or 12 years, and been trying to really baby it and get it to looking really healthy. This one gets trashed because of this huge eucalyptus tree above, and so it's really misplaced. Whoever planted it here didn't consider the fact that that tree was going to get really big, and so bad placement, but it's surviving, and with a lot of TLC. Look at it, it's got a ton of blooms. It is going to be in full bloom here soon, and the flowers are stunning. The limbs on them are starting to look healthy. It's taking some work, but if you work hard on taking care of a plant and really nourish it and just give it a lot of love, things will work out. So never give up on a plant. As you can see, my canvas walls are still up. I'm still working on getting those down. We've been getting a lot of rain though, so maybe next week. Here's my rock rose, and this is still in full bloom. So once I get that moved in the fall, I will talk about this plant because it has a lot of benefits to it. That one I'm probably going to be moving over in this direction because this one doesn't require full sun. Okay, you guys, so let me just give you a quick tour before I end this video. But this is what it looks like at the end of May. Okay, you guys, it's starting to rain. I hope you really enjoyed this video, even under a very cloudy day. But this is what my yard looks like at the end of May. So with that, you guys, don't forget to get up, get out, and get active. Take a stroll through your yard, see what you can nourish, what you can plant, and just enjoy throughout the seasons. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys when I see you on my next video. And as always, love you. Bye-bye for now. Rain is coming. Good timing.